everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a craft. I have been wanting to learn how to sew for a while so that I can make my own clothes, so that I can improve my cosplay and make my own cosplay. Now, I haven't used a sewing machine since 7th grade. I have used a needle and thread since then to do minor repairs, sew holes in socks and shirts, sew on buttons, and that type of thing. So I have sewn, I just haven't used a sewing machine since 7th grade. I bought this back in January before everything went south, and the only thing that I've really done with it is learned how to wind the bobbin and the thread into the machine. Granted, it took me about 5 or so tries to actually wind the bobbin and get everything sewing correctly. So hopefully this won't be too complicated, as the first project I decided to do would be to sew a new curtain for my front door. I figure that's going to be very easy. It should just be 4 seams and then sew it to let the rod go through. Now, again, back in January when I bought the machine, I found this really awesome fabric at Joann's. Apparently it's made just for them, but it screams superhero and fun, and I just loved it. I don't even remember how much I bought. It's been that long. But I figure now I have enough that I'm going to try and make the curtain the entire length of this material, and somehow I'm going to tack up the curtain when it's not in use so it can be a curtain, but then when I want, I can also use it as a selfie backdrop. So we'll see how this goes. One can only hope it's going to be as easy as I think it's going to be. Pro tip, I thought watching Supernatural while sewing would be relaxing. However, I made the biggest mistake that I made that kept screwing up my bobbin, and that is, for some reason, I forget to put the foot down and everything just jams up, and so I had a slight detour re-bobbining and threading, and this time we're going to put the foot down. Fingers crossed. First I gotta take out all the jammed thread. Bear with me. Okay, I finally finished taking out the little bit that I had sewed until where I sewed it to itself, and thank goodness that the sewing kit I bought had a seam ripper, because so far this has been my best friend. So, take 2. I really want to apologize for not having music in my videos. That's something I need to learn to do to make them more interesting. As you'll see, I did experiment with some of the filters and functions of my editing software. So hopefully I at least made it more visually interesting later down the line. Okay, I think I finally got seam 1 done. Of course, I also think that my bobbin thread broke because I only have one coming out here, and hopefully, if I'm lucky, I think it broke at the very end, because I think I have the little bitty bit of the thread there. So luckily I was going to double roll this seam and sew another one, so hopefully this first attempt isn't too bad. Of course, it does look a little, it's a seam. This is the bottom, and I was going to try and maybe stick really thin zip ties in to the bottom to weight it, so when it's the selfie screen, it has a little weight to it. So let's see what happens with the other 4 seams. In actuality, I only did 3 more seams because I didn't seam or hem the top before I made the loop for the curtain rod, so yay. Another thing I learned is I'm going to need a more stable table. The card table bounces as the sewing machine goes. So I was really proud of myself for deciding to use this extra durable stitch where the curtain rod's going to go, as indicated here on my sewing machine. But then I realized I forgot to hem the sides first. So I'm going to have to hand hem around where the curtain rod's going to go, because I am not seam ripping out the entire length of this extra durable stitch. So how many mistakes am I up to now? 3, 4? This has turned out to be a little more difficult for me than I originally anticipated, but I'm learning so much. One of the things I did want to interject that I did learn is I understand why the more talented seamstresses iron their hems before sewing their hems. So I either need to find my iron or buy an iron. One of the reasons I chose this is if you look really close, it has these polka dots, which I thought would help me draw a straight line. Sew a straight line. Alas, yeah, I have issues with straight lines, but I did learn just a normal hem down here on the bottom. Of course, it has the raw edge, and I should have possibly rolled it like I did the 2 side seams. And then, of course, the top with the reinforced stitch where the rod's going to go. So now I just need to hand stitch these in somehow, since I forgot to hem the sides first, and put some Velcro on to make the curtain. So be back soon. Okay, here's the finished curtain, the finished selfie screen, and just some selfies. Thanks for watching.